Hey yo.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Holo Herald podcast, episode number 28. We've been going pretty strongly for 28 weeks. If you guys are listening to the pre-record, actually, if you guys are listening to the live stream, sorry for getting started a little bit later than we usually had. I recently got the creators update and had a little bit of problems with the whole updating system, so some of my settings weren't normally configured like they normally were, so it took us a little longer to get started. Sorry about that. Next week we'll be right back on our usual time, which is about 7 o'clock Mountain Time. So if you guys are listening to the pre-recorded version, come and join us for that, because that'll be that's probably the best way for our viewers to come and have a good conversation with us and talk back and forth. And if you guys are listening to the podcast now, you guys are probably sick of us telling you to get to the live stream, but it really is a great time. Anyways, today we have a slightly late night intimate podcast. It's pretty late. It's 8:30, so it's way later than we normally do the podcast. So any of you that are joining, welcome. Hopefully we can lull you off to sleep, or if you're in California, it's probably a little bit of a late dinner right now, so we can join you for that. Or, we're just happy to have you guys here. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. I'm Eric, your host for tonight's podcast, and I'm joined by my not-so-good friend, and he can't get out of it this time, Austin Swainston. Go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Well, like the man said, I'm Austin, back again for episode number 28 of the Holo Herald podcast. Unfortunately, our good man, Paul, he couldn't make it today due to unforeseen circumstances at his place of employment.
A hurricane.
No hurricanes. Well, I hope not.
That would be pretty bad if a hurricane is hitting Ohio.
Yeah, that would be really bad. But anyways, yeah, we will see what we can come up with on this podcast.
Yeah, we actually got quite a bit to talk about. I was thinking I was thinking, wow, nothing has been happening this week. No AR news really, no new device announcements, no new anything. And then today hit, and I totally forgot it was the Apple Keynote, or whatever they call it, whatever Apple calls it, but the Keynote, where they release all their new products for the year and the announcements and everything exciting. So, I mean, that kind of honestly saved our butts, because there was not much happening in the world of MR lately. But, so that's probably going to be the focus of our podcast. So if you guys are already all caught up on that, and you already know everything there is to know, go ahead and sit tight, because we're probably going to say a lot of controversial things that we just want to hear everybody's opinion on, and we're excited to hear what everybody has to say, because we're really lucky that this keynote, we're really lucky that the keynote came out today, because there is so much AR news now, right, with AR Kit, because isn't that one of the major things that they were announcing, Austin? Yeah,
it was a big part of the introducing the new iPhone.
Oh, I started the trailer early. Sorry. The the ad. I clicked on the tab to open the article, and the iPhone ad started playing already.
Oh.
So sit tight. We're gonna have a live watch through of the new iPhone X ad. So let's just go ahead and we're just gonna hit on some keynotes from the Apple keynote today, and then we're going to delve into certain topics a little bit more handy. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this link in the chat. This is going to be by VentureBeat. This is what we'll be referencing for the major of this article. It's got basically all these different articles all about the keynote right there. I lost the stream though, so there we go. So, first things first, the iPhone X, which is actually not the X, isn't it?
Isn't it like the 10?
It's iPhone 10, like Roman numeral. Is it just me, or are we missing the iPhone 9? Did that get skipped?
Well, maybe they just pulled like a Windows. Like, there was no Windows 9.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. That's such a good point. I was thinking that was way out of like left wing, but Windows totally did the same thing. What is it about bad lucky number 9s?
I don't know. Maybe it's like some sort of underground tech meme.
It's like bad luck to have a 9 of something. I'm trying to think. Well, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that has a 9 in it, like Windows 9, or what about Ubuntu? I mean, they're like in the millions of versions, but
which one are we talking about? The long term release. No, just
Whatever.
kidding.
When you get into Linux, it's just a mess of numbers. So, wow. Okay, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna Google it real quick. Now I'm super freaking curious. I don't know how to Google that. I don't even know how to word that. I'm not gonna Google it. If you guys in the comments know of anything that's 9, like significantly like Windows 9 or Galaxy S9 or the Note 9 or something 9. I'm trying to think of anything. It's interesting how all of these have been progressing at the same speed. It's like an industry standard just to progress at this speed. So we have the Note 8, the Galaxy S8.
It makes sense that they would name them like the same, so people would. It's like a marketing strategy, you know.
Yeah, so people don't get confused because I mean it is kind of left field because in marketing, at least to me, when I hear, oh, the iPhone 10 is out and I have the brand new Galaxy S8, it feels like I'm 2 versions behind, you know? It almost like constitutes that you're already behind, even though in technology terms you're not. But just the fact that the device has jumped farther, it's almost cheating in a way, you know, to jump a device. With OSs, it's a little bit different because, I mean, Apple doesn't even have numbers. Well, I guess they have OS 11 and Snow Leopard and El Capitan or whatever they are, but they don't really, they're random. Whereas Windows has been just steadily progressing since Windows 95, or was there something before that?
There was DOS, but I think that, I don't know. Oh, so Ravi said there was Internet Explorer 9.
We're talking, Ravi, we mean significant development.
That is significant.
Not crappy development.
IE is the best browser. No, I'll just stop what I'm saying.
I was running into a problem today with IE, actually. At work, I was trying to develop a video player just for something stupid. I was just throwing a video player in something, and I encoded my MP4. This is going to get really nerdy for a second, but I encoded my MP4s in MPEG-4, and apparently Internet Explorer hates the living crap out of MPEG-4, so I had to go and recode like gigs worth of files into H.264 or whatever it is. Man, Internet Explorer needs to die. We need to kill it.
It did. Edge now.
Yeah, but
so
you know
edgy.
how many people are still on Windows XP and Windows 9 and stuff?
Windows 9?
I'm not Windows 9, sorry. Windows 8. I just did it. There's too many 9s. There's too many numbers.
Dude, you can't fight XP. XP was the best OS ever.
Would you go back to it?
No.
then shut up.
But, like, it was good. It was a good one.
So, wait, if I gave you the option now, you have to go back to an OS. What's your OS of choice? Windows.
If I have to go back?
Yes.
It would have to be XP.
You wouldn't go to Windows 8 or Windows 7?
Nope. I didn't really like 7.
I'm on 7 at my work right now, and I'm at 10. I actually really like 10. You know, it's kind of like, I feel like 10's a little heavy. I wish I could get like a lightweight version of 10, but, you know, it's doing all right so far. I hate how much stuff comes prepackaged with it. Anyways, we're super off topic from the Apple keynote.
We're talking about XP. What the heck?
Okay, Ravi's already getting ahead of us with the AR stuff. So we're going to save the AR stuff for not last, but we really want to spend some time there. So we're just going to brush over some of the other keynotes just to get everybody that's listening caught up. Did I even post this in the chat? I think I did. I'm going to post it. Oh, no, I already posted it. All right, go ahead and find the link in it. Go ahead and read along with us. We're going to stop at the first time. We're not going to read the AR kit. We'll get to that stuff in a second. But let's go ahead and we'll look at some of the changes between the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 10 or X, whatever you want to call it. Probably the 10. We're just going to call it the 10 for now on. So we're going to jump down. And I think one of the most significant changes is the price tag. The starting price of the iPhone X will be $999 for the 64 gig version, and it'll be $1,150 for the 256 gig version. All right, let's stop and talk about this for just a minute. Hit on this note, Austin. What are your thoughts on this new price line?
That's pretty darn expensive for a phone, even if it's like a flagship phone. And if you compare it across, it's pretty much all the same specs.
Exactly. So we're just starting out. That's probably the most drastic change in specs. There's a really nice chart here in this link I just posted from VentureBeat. Go ahead, pull it out, scroll down to the differences. It lays them all out really nice and clean cut for you to see what the actual significant changes are. And to me, it appears that is the major change. Besides the screen size, that is the major change of device. Do you think? I thought tech would get cheaper. You know, as technology progresses, we would just get more advanced, and even like newer more cutting edge technology would just be cheaper because more people want to have access to developers, and hardware creators are trying to push it more. But I'm finding that to be less and less true as time goes on. Have you noticed that trend, Austin?
Well, yeah, I would agree with you to a certain extent, but like these are like the really high-end phones. You can get smartphones that do pretty decent for like $40.
$60. Yeah, 40, $60.
Yeah. So I do see what you're saying, but there's also that aspect.
So like the premium price. It just feels like the
the premium price. Like a phone I feel like should be $500 to $600 like for flagship, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that feels fair. I guess, okay, yeah, you made a great point. I think what I've meant by that statement was the difference between premium and like standard grade is like premium is shooting way up there.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You're paying to get it flagship and to get it new, or to get the new color or the new whatever it happens to be. You're paying a significant amount that's not worth it, which I mean, they would only raise the price if people are willing to pay it. So I don't know. I get this is interesting.
What can we buy for $1,100
in the tech world?
In the tech world,
you could get a MacBook Pro for $1,100. This is the standard MacBook Pro. You could get a MacBook Air plus a older iPhone. You could get.
So yeah, I would do that.
That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, that's
right?
a good deal.
Actually, I don't know if they're making the MacBook Airs anymore. But I mean, I think you could get maybe the lowest grade MacBook because they're really pushing the MacBook now. You could get the HP Spectre, which is a really cool laptop. You could get a beastly Sager laptop for that price. You could build a really nice PC for that price. That's Xbox One and PlayStation 4 about like $300. So you could get
that and an S8.
About 4. Yeah, you could get that and an S8. I mean, there's a lot of tech alternatives. So, I mean, it's a risky move, but, you know, Apple is known for risky moves.
Oh, yeah, and they've always been known for the big price tag, too, so.
That premium.
It's exactly. No surprise.
Exactly, but this is one of the most significant jumps that I've seen in price for not that much difference. Normally, if you're paying more, like if we look at the MacBook line, in my opinion, I think MacBooks are overpriced, but they're fairly overpriced. You know, it's like your basic MacBook is like $1,000 flat. You know, and then if you want extra RAM, you're going to pay a little bit extra for that. If you want extra this, you're going to pay for this. If you want a wider screen, you're going to pay for this. And it kind of stacks up accordingly how you want it. Sure, the underlying tech is more expensive, but, you know, you're kind of getting what you're paying for at that point when you're adding more stuff on. But to me, this just kind of feels like a unnecessary price jump. Here's a quote. I'm gonna drop a quote in here from independent.co.uk. There's gonna be a video that automatically plays. Just a heads up for you guys that are clicking on this link. 2 Xbox One X's. That's a great point. Ravi says you could get 2 Xbox One X's. We haven't seen the price point exactly yet, but you're probably gonna be right around that age for 2 Xbox One X's. Let me see. So I just dropped a link in there for a quote that I'm gonna read. The company says that the new phone is, quote, the biggest leap forward since the original iPhone. I beg to disagree. And that it will set the path of technology for the next decade. This is supposed to set the 10 years. You know, and I think this is kind of, I'm going to say, I don't agree with this quote. But I think it's kind of taken a little bit out of context. I think what they mean is the technology that the phone is going to push is going to be with us the next 10 years, i.e. AR, augmented reality. I think that's what they mean by that statement. Is that kind of what you garner?
Yeah, I think they're referencing like the sensors and stuff that they've put in is going to be the next step in the future.
Exactly, not like the same processor, basically the same camera, basically a lot of the same screen and the same glass. Basically everything's the same about the phone except for the fact that this one is meant for AR. Quote, meant. I guess it is because it's got that dot projector. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to some of the other differences between the phone. All right, storage, same price. I mean, same sizes as the iPhone 8 Plus. The display is 5.5 inches and 5.8 inches, but the resolution jumped up all the way to a 240. It's some random ratio. It's a much significant ratio. What are your thoughts on the screen?
Well, what do I do with that couple like extra points of inches? I don't know if that made sense. What do I do with that little bit more size?
Size always matters, Austin, just so you know.
2 inches is all you need.
0.2 inches is all you need, I guess, in this case.
I guess so.
No, okay, this is the first thing I saw. And we're going to talk about technical stuff, and then I want to get into a little bit more of like how this affects the populace and how this affects everything. Because I actually heard some really interesting discussion at work from non-tech people about the phone that I think will be interesting to discuss. But you're exactly right. So I have the new S8 Plus, Samsung S8 Plus, and I am extremely happy with it. It cost me probably like $800, which to me is expensive as all get out for a phone. But my old phone was falling apart, and I didn't want to buy something older generation, and this just barely came out. So I took the plunge and I got it. And I'm gonna go ahead and now, since I've paid it off and everything, because I don't like plans. I'm not a big fan of like paying $20 for the rest of my life to then just upgrade and continue paying the next $20 for the rest of my life. I just paid it off in one payment. You know what I mean? So I just bought it right out. What are your opinion on that, by the way? Are you for buying phones right out, Austin, or are you for payments?
Payments are terrible. They're like, I don't like payments. Just buy it right out. And if you can't afford it, you can't afford it, and just don't buy that phone. Get something else.
Get something smaller.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. They it saves buying it right out only saves like a little bit of money. Like it was like $30, something insignificant. But to me, it just felt like now I own this piece of tech, and I don't know. Upgrades are kind of nice. Now I can root it,
and just kidding. Don't do that.
Exactly. And upgrades are kind of nice, but I can resell this phone in the future and just buy a new one if I want to be on the cutting edge. But I'm honestly thinking I haven't seen phone tech progress much lately, in the past couple years, kind of ever since the S6, S5 area.
Which brings up a question, like how long do you think you're going to have that phone?
A while. And that's exactly
like 3 years, 4 years?
Probably 3 years since I got it. So probably another 2.5 years.
I'm gonna give you 3 years.
3 years, yeah, probably. I mean, it's built well. The other problem with mine was my S5 was built like a tank, but I treated it like a piece of crap, so it kind of fell apart quickly. But I'm trying to treat this one a little bit better. And
I missed that, the old rubber band holding the battery in trick.
Yeah, I had to wrap a rubber band, 2 rubber bands around my phone to hold the back on, so it would hold the battery in place, so I could use the phone. Man, phones are such a debate. We got to get into MR though. We'll get into MR. We're getting there. Just bear with us. I promise. We're getting there. So anyways, I feel like phones aren't progressing much in technology. So I just bought the nicest one at the point in time, and I'm just going to keep that until something very significant comes out in technology, phone technology. I'd rather put my money into other places in technology at this time. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the extra screen. So the S8 looks almost identical to the iPhone 10. My phone's got the wraparound curved screen. It got rid of the home button. It has the screen's large. But the difference is their screen goes all the way down to the bottom of the phone and all the way top, and then wraps around the speaker, which to me is like, what the point? No app on my phone I've ever used has used the entire full screen. The only time I use the full screen is on the home menu, and at that point, it doesn't really matter because
but it's Apple. It looks aesthetically pleasing.
I'm talking about my phone too. I mean, I'm not going to say it's completely useless screen space because you can watch 1440p widescreen, but no content is in 1440p really. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of tech to tech. It's having fancy to be fancy. It's not really having a point behind it. I'm happy with it. So I think it's a necessary move that iPhone did it, but I don't think it should be a main marketing point. It's like, hey, you caught up to the rest of the game. Does that make sense, Austin?
Yeah, that makes sense what you're trying to say.
Okay, good. I'll make sure I'm coming across. So you're looking at the picture of the phone, right? Yeah. I mean, what is the point of having the screen come up there? I don't know. Is it a main selling point to you having a bigger screen?
Not like that.
Like if the phone was bigger in general?
Yeah, if the phone was bigger. I mean, it's the same size as, what is that version?
The 8 Plus?
The 8 Plus, yeah. It's the same size. It's just to the edges, which we've seen before, so.
It's nothing super new to write home about. Anyways, a little bit of resolution boost, which is behind the game anyways. Processors are the exact same. Well, it's okay, I guess. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong thing. All right, now I'm on the right thing. Processors are the same. The Face ID, it now has Face ID, which phones and laptops had Face ID for a really long time. I know they have like super beefed up Face ID, but I mean, it's not super noteworthy. The way they're marketing it is not the way they should be marketing it, in my opinion. Cameras, who really cares about cameras? Phone cameras are to the point where they're so good. It's just, if you want anything better, buy a freaking Red Epic or something, you know what I mean? Siri, same Bluetooth, a little bit less battery life to be expected with a smaller screen. Basically, it's slightly smaller in size, but same screen size. And that's basically what you're paying the extra money for, is the screen size. And
to say you have the iPhone 10.
And to say you have the iPhone 10. And, okay, let's get into the video. All right, we're almost to AR. We're almost to that segment. Let's go ahead and everybody together, we're going to open up that independent.co.uk foldable phones if they came next year. Ravi, we'll get to your comments in just a moment. All right, we're gonna react to this live with everybody. Everybody, open up the independent.co.
A reaction.
Oh yeah, Austin's all about that reaction. I just posted this link, but I'm gonna post it again. Independent.co.uk. It's in the description. Go ahead and click on it. Bring it up. We're gonna react to this live together. A video should start playing automatically. Go ahead and pause that and rewind it to the first second. It's only a minute long, so I'm going to mute it so I don't get flagged for copyright, but you guys don't have to. All right, let's do this. You there, Swain Money?
Yep, I'm there.
All right. 3, 2, 1, click. All right, meet the iPhone X. Looks pretty. New camera. I'm going to be pausing. Okay, pause. I paused. Okay.
All right. What's the song?
I have no idea. But I don't have the volume on, so I can't even hear it.
Okay.
I don't want to get flagged for copyright on the stream. So let's see what we got right here. No home button. Nothing new. I was actually surprised they haven't implemented this technology sooner. All the MacBooks for the past couple years have had the Force Touch technology. I'm surprised it's taken them so long to implement it into the phone. The Galaxy S8 does it. The Note 8 does it. I mean, and other phones have done it before those phones have done it. Nothing crazy. All right, moving on. I'm clicking play. All right, we're going to the most durable glass ever. Who cares? Wireless charging. Who cares? Every phone's had that.
The new processor.
It's the same processor as the other one, actually.
Facial recognition.
Facial recognition. The way... I'm going to pause. Everybody pause. I think the marketing of the facial recognition isn't as cool as they could be. because they tied it in with the whole emoji thing, but they should say that this is actually good face recognition, because when I think face recognition, I think the crappy laptop face recognition that someone holds up a picture of your face in front of it and it falls for it. You know what I mean?
Yep. So secure.
So they should really say that they're using the new dot technology to truly map your face and to use it, give it a whole new print.
Yeah, but it's for the consumer, not the super technical people. Well, it's for them too, but
yeah,
you know what this video is made for.
Yeah, exactly. I know what most iPhone products are made for, so I guess we should have prefaced this whole podcast by saying we're not the biggest Apple fans.
Yeah,
we're kind of biased.
We have a bias.
we're biased. But anyways, let's continue on. I'm clicking play. Is your password unlock with a look? Unlock with your face. Emoji. All right, now here we go. Animogi. We can all pause right here. This, to me, is a really cool technology. Like, incredible technology. Used for such crappy possibilities. Oh, anyways, I got to pull back. Ravi mentioned this earlier in the podcast. We're now into the...
Yes!
Actually, we're going to dedicate a whole, 10-minute part to this. Let's just continue on the ad. This exists.
Is this in a response to the Emoji Movie?
This feature?
Yeah.
They're like, we're all in on emojis. Who the hell? Never mind. Okay, we're gonna spend a whole rant period for this in a minute. Too bad Paul's not here. He would enjoy ranting on this with us. Okay. Play. I'm going on. Okay, yes, they're doing stuff. They're singing with the emojis, which is actually really cool technology. Radically new cameras. Pause. I hope you guys paused it right on the exact the part that I did. All right. Now, everything in this, not important, except for one little cool feature that I'd like to point out. The dot projector. That is cool. The fact that they're putting in the Connect type sensors into your phone. Every other thing there, cameras already have it. My S8 has it. Phones have had it for a really long time. But that dot projector signifies something really cool for augmented reality. It shows that they're putting in not just software to their phone, they're adding hardware on their phone to now cater just to augmented reality. Is that not exciting? And facial tracking. They're using it for a lot of other things, but I mean, a big play of it is going to be AR kit.
I can't wait to see the capabilities that it's going to bring, the innovation.
Exactly. I don't think there's one on the front as well, but it's cool that there's one on this. So yeah, let's move on. I'm actually going to give props to Apple for that. That's cool to see them committing to. I know this serves a lot more purposes than AR, but it can be used with AR a lot. All right, let's move on. All right, pause. This comes up really quick, so sorry if you guys have to rewind. This just goes over the front cameras real quick. I'm not seeing anything really super noteworthy. All right, let's go ahead and move on to that. It's nothing. I would have liked to see another a type of sensor like either that the HoloLens uses or that the Tango uses or the Connect uses. I would have liked to see something like that, but beggars can't be choosers. Let's move on. Great pictures. Portrait lighting. All right, just bear with us. We're getting to the good stuff. There we go. There it is. Let's go ahead and pause right there on that T-Rex. AR kit. Look at that. That's they're going full force on this now. It was kind of underground and hidden before, and people knew about it, but it's really starting to go full force now. What do you think about this, Austin?
I'm excited for it. It looks cool.
It looks super cool. I mean, we kind of missed the jump on it, sadly. We're not going to be the first people to cover it and the first people to do comparisons and other stuff. Hopefully we can be the first person to do comparisons. That would be nice.
I mean, combined with the awesome camera, it's pretty sweet technology. And I don't know if this is actual footage of it or just a pre-render, but it has good graphics and it even shows the shadow. It's awesome.
Let's watch. I'm going to rewind real quick. I'm going to see if when he comes up, let's watch how the, go frame by frame. Okay, it looks like it's probably it's It's definitely a pre-render. Well, I don't know. Oh yeah, it's definitely a pre-render. There's different guys on the on the court in the phone than there are in the other one. Anyways, I'm just sorry, guys. I went really dead silence for a second. I'm just scrubbing through this.
Yeah, dude.
The AR kit.
The two guys in the background are gone.
Yeah, it's different. And that guy on the left isn't there at the other part. Anyways, so it's pre-rendered, but I mean everybody did pre-renders, so it doesn't really matter. I think the technology will be very similar to this. I hope so. I mean the camera's not moving at all. And we've already seen plenty of videos about this. Now in reality, you've never seen anything like it. It's never seen anything like you. Pretty good marketing, if you ask me. Anyways, sorry. Thanks for reacting live with us. I just thought it'd be a little fun to go through that with everybody to get to the meat of the video. All right, let's talk about AR kit and Animogis, shall we, for a minute?
Let's do it. Let's get into this meme.
I think let's hit on Animoji. Is that what they call it?
Animogis.
Animoji. I don't know if this is really considered AR, but it uses technologies very similar to AR, so I think it blends right into us very well. Tell me your initial impressions. Let's start with that first, Austin. And viewers, tell me your initial impressions of Animoji and what you think it is.
Well, it looks like, I mean, those are probably all pre-renders, but if it's going to work how it says it works, it looks like it tracked your face really well, and like it was pretty impressive. Like that's like professional animation going on just with technology, you know?
Exactly. I mean, that's stuff that we see, like, remember when L.A. Noire came out, that video game?
Yeah.
And everybody was, like, blowing up because they're like, wow, the facial animation's so good in it. I mean, that's stuff that's now in your pocket.
Yeah,
so that's
crazy.
really exciting. And I guess I'm not super against Animoji. Ravi, I'm curious to that shit emoji. Ravi, I'm curious, and viewers, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think about the emoji thing. But here's my take on it. I think this is a good way to demonstrate AR-ish, AR with an asterisk type technologies to the masses. And I think that's the point of this. I don't think it's them catering to the masses and catering to the emoji people and stuff like that. I think it's more like, hey, let's get kids, let's get people, and let's show them what we can do with this technology. Now, do I think they could have done it better? Yes. Do I think they could have come across as a lot less douchey? Yes. Do I think anybody's even going to give a crap about this technology? No. I don't think anybody's going to care about this. I doubt it'll ever get used.
I don't know. There's some pretty devout like iMessage users that love the features of it. And apparently this is only included on iMessage. That's what Ravi just told me. And
oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean,
oh, that's interesting.
I wonder what else it's going to be used for, if anything.
The face tracking or the Animoji?
The face tracking.
I feel like it's really good for unlocking your phone. I actually think that'll be really cool. Snapchat-like technologies, instead of just simple camera mapping, they can do extremely detailed facial mapping like that. People love Snapchat stuff. I don't know. Developers are crazy. You know, you give them the hardware and they'll find something cool to do with it.
I'm excited to see what the consumer does with it.
I bet text to speech could be much better. You know, if you're instead of just hearing you could hold it up and talk to your phone, and it'll watch your lips and read what you're saying better. There's probably some other cool stuff to see, but I think what this leads into is them. What's really exciting about this, we'll get off the Animoji stuff now, because it's kind of just silly, to be honest, is them kind of devoting a little piece of their phone. Because you got to think about a phone. A phone is a very small device. Apple didn't even have room for a headphone jack on their phone, okay? People, that's just trying to sell more lightning cables and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, but they even cut that out. For them to come in and add something like a dot sensor is really showing a cool push forward. Sadly, they didn't add it to their front of their phone, but who knows? This could be the first of on that.
Could they implement this technology like with Siri, like it could pretty much read your lips and be more accurate.
I think that's what Robbie's saying, isn't he? They could use your face emotions to show you related ads on website and apps depending on your mood. I could definitely see that. I mean, I just see the government information now because these renders of facial tracking will now be like FBI-able. So let's say if you hold your phone up or somebody walks behind you and their face gets censored in, it's like track them.
I can't wait till they solve crimes using Animogis.
Help kids with autism be able to tell what emotion is what emotion is this emoji showing. Try to replicate it.
There you go.
But I mean, back to the dot sensor. I mean, did you see how much little hardware room they have on that phone?
I know.
For them to commit to this is really exciting to me, actually, because Apple, as much as we don't like to admit it, they kind of sometimes set the standard for certain things.
Oh yeah.
And so if they're putting a sensor on, everybody else is going to be putting a sensor on, and they're going to try to one-up them. They're going to put one on the front. They're going to put one there, or they're going to put up a different type of sensor. And they're going to try to one-up them in this AR-esque game, you know? So I think it shows a really exciting push forward. And the fact that they are pushing ARKit in the ads and pushing it like that, it shows that they want to be first to it, which is cool because everybody else is going to respond. Now we're going to see ARCore coming out really hardcore and Google putting their stuff out. Well, I think Google is ARCore, but everybody putting their stuff out, you know? So I think it's a really exciting push. But do you know any iPhone users, Austin?
Yeah.
So, have you by chance heard them talk about it at all yet?
Not about the new iPhone.
Have you heard them talk about ARKit at all?
Nope.
You see, there we go. I think here underlies the but and the asterisk and the everything else. I'm surrounded by iPhone users at where I work. Basically, everybody there but me uses an iPhone. And devout iPhones. Like, they got the most up-to-date ones. They're always looking to upgrade. And I didn't hear a single one of them after today's ad say they wanted to upgrade. They just saw that price tag. They saw that price tag and they said, I'm just going to hold on to my iPhone 8 until the next thing comes out, and then I'm going to do that. And I didn't hear a single one of them mention ARKit. I didn't hear a single one of them mention, and they were having like a pretty big discussion on it. And basically the general consensus was, I'm just going to not get it. I'm not going to update, which I know isn't a grab pool. It's not accurate data. It's just the people I work with. But I kind of get that feeling with the general consensus. But I thought that way about the when they got rid of the iPhone. I mean the headphone jack. But I mean everybody still bought that, didn't they?
Oh yeah. I wouldn't have bought it. Well, I didn't buy it, so there's that. But yeah, a lot of people did buy it.
So I'm really curious. iOS 11 comes out the 19th. So like 6, 7 days, 8 days, 7 days. Depending on if you're listening to the pre-record version, it'll be just a couple days until it's out. So then I think this is the shift. I mean, this is the beginning of the shift. This is like, I feel like AR and MR has been kind of like this boulder that's been like teetering on a hillside, you know what I mean? About to break loose. And I think iOS 11 coming out might be that crack that it needs to start rolling downhill. Not downhill in a bad way, but downhill in a good way.
So is this gonna like make it like with that quote at the beginning where you said this is gonna influence phones in the next decade? Like, do you think it's gonna switch completely, like how we've talked in past podcasts where the phone is outdated? Do you think it's gonna change into like a headset or something different?
You know, I think that's where we're going. I think that's what that quote means when he says the tech inside this phone will influence technology for the next 10 years. And obviously consumers will have their say. You know, people thought VR would change how we live our lives. VR hasn't done anything to have any impact on anybody. So consumers will decide in the end game, but this is cool to see that even corporate heads, not just tech gurus, these are corporate heads, Tim Cook, these big wigs at Apple that are sometimes extremely resistant to change and sometimes pushing their own change, showing them going for it. So I think this signifies a movement that's going to come upon us. And I honestly think, I don't want to say it's the iPhone. I would like to say it's something like the HoloLens or Meta or Magic Leap. But I think this iPhone might be one of the things, iOS 11 specifically, could be one of the things that pushes us into the next generation of technology. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I'd have to agree with that. We are on the verge of something big. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Well, we can cause that. The verge of something big. That's what we'll call this podcast. I still doubt on their dot feature. So the feature, not necessarily just for anybody that's listening, I don't necessarily mean the dot feature is cool, but the fact that they're dedicating hardware space, development time, and space on their phone to a technology like this, that's what's exciting to me. Because who knows, the next generation could be putting a whole new AR sensor just to map your surroundings or whatever XXX could be. And I think it's going to be a slow growth. I think we're going to see a slow transition. Corporate is known for milking everything they can out of it. I don't think they're just going to just bump right into headsets. And this is getting into what Austin was saying. I don't think they're just going to jump right into headsets. I think we're going to kind of see a resistance. They're going to want to milk everything they can out of phone-based AR, and then they're going to want to work their way up into headsets and different devices. Like he said, it's going to start influencing technology for the next decade, and I think we're on the cusp of that change. And the only problem, my little asterisk, is that nobody realizes it but tech people, which normally is not. Does that signal a bad? Is that a bad signal or a good signal, Austin? Do you think that nobody kind of realizes it's coming except for tech people?
I mean, I don't know. Like, you kind of have to just see the past data to know the answer to that question, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, consumers didn't know iPhone was coming. It shaped the world and how we do it. But, I mean...
Well, I've never really analyzed, like, this sort of field of technology like I have, like any other different technology,
I guess that's a good point. We're really in the scene right now, so it feels a little bit more in our faces than normal.
Right.
So it's like our blinders are on. But I mean, AR technology's been around for quite a while. I mean, I just got a Nintendo 3DS, and that has had AR capabilities and AR features since day one. And I mean, the Nintendo. Let me look real quick.
Really fun game with the faces.
Yeah, where you take a picture of your face,
and it's kind of like Animogis, sort of.
Exactly, that's kind of like Animogis. Oh, that's such a good example. Nintendo 3DS launch date. I mean, dude, the Nintendo 3DS was launched in 2011.
Really?
Yes, and it had AR components then.
I mean, it's not the most convincing AR, but it's AR.
Yeah, and that AR is even a little bit later. This is like where you had a QR code on the table, and you would point your thing, and it would stay latched to the QR code. But that's still AR, you know what I mean? And we never saw any games or anything really latch onto that AR capabilities besides little gimmicky stuff like you were playing. We didn't see many developers.
Gimmicky stuff.
Awesome gimmicky stuff. And I kind of feel like that's how ARKit's going to be. It's going to be awesome gimmicky, but exactly like we said, we asked your brother today, we said, what's your opinion on MR? And his opinion, very analytical mind person, his opinion was, I have not used MR for anything practical yet. And I think that kind of sums up the whole situation right now, wouldn't you?
Sums it up completely.
I haven't used it for anything practical. Nobody really has used it for anything practical.
We've really tried hard to find practical uses for it, though.
We here at the Holo Herald?
Yeah.
Oh yes, definitely. And I think they have standing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They have merit. But since it's just us trying to do it, and just developers, it makes it kind of hard, But I think this is what's going to start that ball. I think, DS is for gaming and it didn't have much ground and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, the iPhone is I still think it's the number one sold phone, or maybe it just got taken over by Android, but it is one of the most sold phones, one of the most owned devices. iOS 11 will be probably one of the number one operating systems in the United States and around the world soon. And I mean, that's the truth to it. And so we can see a future on the cusp. And that's really what he means by that quote. You know, I think we might see a lot of people and a lot of haters take that quote out of context. I'm going to read it one more time for everybody that's not listening. I mean, that either just joined or, you know, just to reiterate my point. His quote was, sorry, this is going to start playing. Okay. His quote is, "The company says that the new phone is the biggest leap forward since the original iPhone." That is a big, bold statement because there's been a lot of progression since the old iPhone. You know, maybe not just one big jump, but since the iPhone was released in 2007, I think, we've seen a lot of technology growth and a lot of iterations. And this will set the path of technology for the next decade. That is really exciting right there. And I think a lot of people are going to take that out of context. They're going to be like, oh, you're behind Android. Oh, you're doing everything like this. And don't get us wrong. We're not Apple fanboys here at all. If anything, we're definitely Apple haters. But the fact that they're dedicating certain aspects of their phone just to AR technologies and stuff like that, it just really shows how much people are into AR. And I'm just excited for that ball to start rolling, and we'll know. I mean, on the 19th, we'll see how people start to adopt AR. I mean, I think the first few days will be very telling of how ARKit does and kind of showing the future of it. So I'm excited. And we talked about this at the beginning of the summer, didn't we? About there's like a lull right now, but something feels like it's coming.
Yeah, I think we touched on that a bit. I can't remember, though.
No, yeah, we did. We said it feels like the calm before the storm right now.
Oh, yeah, I remember
everything
that.
felt... If AR like 3-4 months ago felt like the calm before the storm, everything was kind of slowing down. That might have been due to sales seasons or a holiday season wasn't quite there yet. But now since the holiday season's coming and tech season's kind of upon us, we're starting to see AR rejuvenate itself again. And I mean, I'm excited for ARKit, and I'm excited to see how it does. This is really exciting because this is information we've all been waiting for. We've talked about for a year now. We've talked about how are consumers going to react to AR? Are consumers going to use it? Is it just going to be a funny gimmicky game? Are developers going to develop stuff for it? Are are corporate people going to get onto it? You know, we have all of these questions. Is it just going to be gimmicky or fun? Is it just going to be for gaming? Or is it going to completely die? There's so many questions because we have not had a consumer AR device, platform. We haven't had a consumer AR platform yet. And I don't know. I'm just bursting at the seams, excited to see. I can't wait probably 2 weeks. Our podcast is probably going to be really exciting because we're going to have a lot of this information and a lot of how people are going to react to it. And I'm kind of hoping it takes people by pleasant surprise. Not by bad surprise, but definitely by pleasant surprise. You know, non-tech people, they open their phones up, they have a little ARKit feature, and it just slowly creeps into their lives and slowly creeps into how they live. It's not just some gimmicky toy. It actually kind of takes over their lives and how they function. That's what I'm really hoping for. And I hope it's not just a tumbleweed across the road, something exciting to look at for a minute and then moving on to something new. But I mean, right there in that quote, this will set the path of technology for the next decade. And what I really think they mean by that is AR-based technologies for a decade. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited. So, Austin, I think that's basically it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's basically all the news. I can't hear you quite yet.
That's nope, shoot.
Nope.
I was pushing the shift button, not control. Yeah, I think that basically sums up what we wanted to discuss about the iPhone. And
I don't think there was any much more news, really.
Yeah.
We can hit on that one cool.
The developer.
Yes, I don't know what the developer was, but there was a really cool video posted recently that showed exciting integration between phone-based technology and headset-based technology. It shows I think it's ARKit. He uses ARKit, correct?
Yeah, it uses ARKit and the HoloLens.
To use phone-based tracking to point a gun, an augmented reality gun, and they use HoloLens to track it to somebody's head, track a helmet on somebody's head. I'll go ahead and
I posted
Austin,
it.
Oh, Austin beat me to it. And it's cool. He holds his phone. And I think this is kind of the near future. When people talk to me about AR, I think this is our new future of the AR, is we're going to see phone-based AR come and kind of go. And it's kind of I don't want to say a flash in the pan, but, it has its time, and it's a very short time. But then we're going to start it's going to open people's eyes to the possibilities of AR, and it's going to open consumers to the taste. It's going to give them a little bit of a taste, but just enough to tantalize them. And then we're going to start seeing a lot more integration like this with head-based AR, where or second device-based AR, where it's solely an AR device, or AR/MR device. And your phone will still be there. People are always scared that they're going to lose their phones. They're going to lose your phones. But we're going to slowly wean people off their phones because, people are addicted to these devices and have been for a long time. You're not just going to take someone's phone away, and if you try to, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So we're going to have to slowly wean them off. We're going to give them something that's compatible with their device. And then we're going to say, hey, you could actually use your phone to enhance this. And they're going to be like, whoa, this is really cool since I'm using my phone, but I'm not ready to give my phone up yet. And they're going to slowly wean them off farther and farther and farther until we don't even need phones anymore.
And Eric, you make a good point with the weaning off of phones. Like, even if it's like just a gaming aspect of augmented reality, a lot of people love gaming, and a lot of people would probably invest in an augmented reality device or MR device that would go with their phone to be able to play a massive online game outside in your real world environment,
Yeah, like a Sword Art Online style.
So it may not be their everyday use, but when they're gaming, that's what they would use.
Exactly. I think that's what we're going to start to see. We're going to see it just creeping into people's lives. AR. It's going to give them a taste. But we really have to wean people off their phone. And I think honestly, that's one of the reason. That's why I said earlier in the podcast that I haven't seen phones progressing for the past 2 or 3 or 4 years. And I think it's because maybe we've started to hit that wall. That wall. Every technology hits its wall eventually, where we just need to get onto something new. We're just done with that. We're going to take what we've learned there, and we're going to apply it to a new context. And I think that's what we're going to see with headphone-based AR, or just head-based AR, headset-based AR. And yet again, to go back to that quote, we'll set the path of technology for the next decade. And that's what I'm saying. He's saying this is setting the path. We went over the stats. This phone barely updates on anything from the old phone, besides a slightly larger screen. Barely anything is updated. And I think we're going to see that for the next few phones. And people, developers, hardware, they're going to be ready to use them. They're going to be ready to kind of get off this device, which is really exciting. It's kind of sad to see the beginning of the death of the phone, but overall, it's a good thing. It's ready. We're ready to progress as a race, and as a community. We're definitely ready to progress. Haven't you felt that way for a little while, Austin?
Oh yeah, we're ready to move on to the next big thing.
Whatever that may be. If it's AR, it's AR, which I definitely putting my money on AR.
If it's Project Rena, it's Project Rena.
I am so ready for Project Rena to come to every device I own. Cross-platform. It's like you get her phone number and you can call her. What?
We gotta answer Ravi's question about foldable phones. Is he talking about Motorola Razors, flip phones?
Foldable phones. That's a great question. I think foldable and flip phones are probably very different things.
Sure they are.
I would assume,
I'm sure
right?
they are.
What was it? Send us a link to what you're talking about exactly, Ravi. That'd be super helpful. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to Google foldable phones, and I'm going to see what it is, and it comes up with flip phones. Oh, the bendable. Okay, the bendable Galaxy Note. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Ravi, you open. We're getting ready to wrap up the podcast, and you open up a whole can of worms right there. This is okay. Just to answer your question and to kind of close the last topic that I was talking about in one little bit. To me, when we start seeing technology like this, something a phone becomes now foldable and it's two screens against each other, or they add in little gimmicky things or little changes to make it a little bit different. These, in my opinion, are the signs of a death of a technology, or the death of let's take movies. In a movie studio, the first movie is normally always really good, and then like the Shrek series. Shrek 1 was great movie. Opinions aside, it was the better movie out of the series. And then as the movies started to progress on, they started to add in little gimmicky things, and then eventually we saw the death of a series. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing with phones at this point, is they got nowhere else to go, so they're going to start adding in weird little things, and that kind of signals the death of it, in my opinion.
So it's basically like a DS sort of deal?
Yeah, it's like a double-screen DS.
Microsoft Surface, mini Surface.
Imagine if I could just take my S8 and fold it in half. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of foldable technologies, but I'll take a Jitterbug any day, right?
Yes, any day.
$74 for a Jitterbug, dude. That's what it's saying right here above that.
I'll get that over the iPhone 10.
No, you would not.
Yeah, you're right.
Foldable screens. All right, guys. Well, I think it's about time to wrap up. Austin, you want to go ahead and give your closing statement while I find some music?
Thank you for tuning in to the Holo Herald podcast. We appreciated all of you listeners out there, and we are grateful for your support. It could not have been done without you.
Austin, you should do ASMR. Should we start a new ASMR channel?
I'm going to count down to 1.
As you move around their heads. No. 10,
9. Okay, I'm done.
And there's your nightly ASMR for you folks out there. Sorry about that, actually.
Yeah, sorry.
Let me go ahead and get this music started. All right. Well, it's that time of night, fellas, boys and girls, everybody out there, all our listeners, where we got to wrap up the H8 podcast. Thank you to those that joined the live stream for joining us so late at night. This was planned to be a short one, but we actually went on and on and on. If you're sick of our Apple talk, go ahead and let us know. Let us know if you love Apple, if you hate Apple, if you agree with what you said, if we disagree with what we said. Overall, the main statement was we're excited for the future, and I'm sure nobody can disagree with that. But everything else in between, go ahead, have at it. We all know you guys are going to go crazy with it anyway, so there's really no reason to tell you not to. Anyways, this has been Holo Herald Podcast, episode 28. Thank you guys so much for everything you guys do. We just hit 1,500 subscribers, and we have some exciting news coming up in the future. So be prepared for that. Big things are in the works, and thank you guys so much for joining. Really, what?
There's big things in the works?
Rhymes with MS, ends with power user.
Oh, yes. That big thing.
That big thing. Yeah, anyways. So I just spilled the beans a little bit tidbit for any of you guys that are there. Anyways, thank you guys so much. This has been the Holo Herald Podcast, episode 28, signing off.
Bye.